All right, well, hopefully I'm live on both YouTube and on TikTok. If you don't know, I am David Page, and am not showing, um, I'm not showing that I have a stream yet. Not, okay, there we go. It just says live. If you don't know, I am, okay, awesome. All right, I just randomly, what I'm doing here is 100 hours of reasons that you should not support Autism Speaks. So it's 100 hours of reasons that you should. So basically, I'm doing a not all at once, but I'm doing 100 hours of live stream specifically on the subject of why you should not support Autism Speaks. And the reason is so long, so many hours, is to make a point that you can spend that much time talking about it. Anyway, so I put in Autism Speaks here on Google, and why Autism Speaks fits the bill as a hate group is the second story. That's the second story. Let's take a look at it. Oh, is it? Okay, good. I don't have to do the PDF. I don't want the PDF. In the wake. What? Wake of terrorist attacks in Toronto perpetuated by a 25-year-old autistic man who identified as an incel. I don't know anything about this story. At the Southern Poverty Law Center added a new category of hate groups for imposing espousing male supremacy, such as a voice for man, return of kings. I applaud them. I have no idea what this is talk about. What this is talking about. And I don't even know if this is legit. Does anybody know if this is legit? Is this a legit thing? Southern Poverty Law Center defines a hate group as whose beliefs practice malign. Um, and actually, it's funny because I looked up the definition of hate group, and it doesn't include. Well, I guess okay. Here's disability. Okay, so I guess that counts. Malice against persons belonging to a race, religion, so autistic people would fit under this disability. The other definition I saw, I don't think it had disability in there, which was kind of bizarre. I was kind of laughing at it, making fun of it. I think I just Googled it. I can't remember. Hell. All right. However, Autism Speaks is currently the largest autism charity in the world. To point out where they regularly receive donations from celebrities, yes, both ends of the political spectrum, how they operate. But a closer look at how they operate reveals they fit the SPLC and FBI's definition of a hate group perfectly. This is not my words, people. This is I put in. You can see it right here. I what? Okay, not with all these things popping up here. Um, that's what I did. Google. I just Googled Autism Speaks, and then I went to news. So it's giving me. This says it was a month ago that this a article was put out. So I'm not saying that Autism Speaks is a hate group. This article is saying that it fits the SPLC. What is that? Oh, that must be the Southern Poverty Law Center definition of a hate group. So it fits theirs, and I have no idea what they are. And the FBI's definition of a hate group. Isn't that crazy? I mean, that's freaking crazy. And to say that I know there has to be a lot of people who don't listen to my channel, or they see me talking about autism being a cult, or ABA being a cult, Autism Speaks being a cult, and I'm sure I sound like a nutcase or a real extremist. I'm sure I do. I hear it and I sound like an extremist. But the thing is as an atheist for well over a decade now, probably 20 years. Well, not 20. Um, well over a decade, I have been active. I'm not active in the atheist community right now, but I've been active in that community, and I actually helped people escape cults. I actually helped helped the preacher kind of get out of his church. Kind of, I gave, yeah. It was a preacher actually, and he wanted to retire, and I supported him in that. Go ahead, retire. So he preached for another like 3 months or whatever. And he was gonna do it, but I supported him in his idea. I'm like, but why not? Get your retirement. So he did. And then he left the church, and yeah, well, it was kind of interesting. Okay, Autism Speaks was funded by media mogul Bob Wright and his wife Suzanne after their grandson Christian. His name was Christian, with who was diagnosed with autism. They received a $25 million donation from the Bernard Marcus. Now this is the Home Depot guy. Oh yeah, yeah, the founder, co-founder of Home Depot. So that's who this is. Um, the group. This is so crazy because okay, this article is saying that Autism Speaks fits the bill as a hate group, and it's saying the Southern Poverty Law Center and FBI definition. It fits that their both of their definitions perfectly. So, and I'm not the one saying this. The organization is behind multiple awareness campaigns. Yes, they are. And to their credit, the one thing I can say is that when we think of autism awareness, it came from Autism Speaks because they had that 25 million startup boost. Now, and what the idea was, and it's worked, is when you think of autism and so forth, you're going to think of Autism Speaks. Or autism awareness, you think of Autism Speaks because they're the ones that did it. And so most people associate the two. And it's brilliant because now anytime you talk about autism, first thing that comes to mind, oh yeah, Autism Speaks. It's brilliant. It's great marketing. And it really worked well. I haven't really looked into how they did it or what they did, but having been an old guy in the United States, I remember hearing about it for it seems forever. But a closer. So the organization is behind multiple awareness campaigns such as World Autism Awareness Day, Light It Up Blue, along with claims of providing resources, services, intervention, research for the autistic community. But a closer look reveals something far more sinister. Boy, this person is not happy with Autism Speaks. DJ Schultz. This is from International Policy Digest. I don't know who this is. I don't know anything about this page, to tell you the truth. The organization is behind. Okay, so yeah, we got there. Autism Speaks has faced criticisms for its lack of representation of autistic individuals within its leadership, within the organization at all. It was pathetic because today I watched a video where the media lady, I think is what she is, media, Eileen Lamb, the things that she was saying were just so bizarre. Just absolutely, completely bizarre. Um, I'm trying to. I just lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. So when she's talking about the puzzle piece, and she goes, when we chose the symbol of autism, not Autism Speaks, but autism, and maybe she just made a mistake. She's autistic, or and she's a human being. Maybe she made a mistake, but she said a a autistic person was there when we made chose that, or when that was chosen. What was it? The butler, the maid. They were there. So there was an autistic person there when we made this decision. Therefore, it's good to go. Well, oh no, we didn't talk to the autistic person. We didn't ask them, but they were there. And yeah, that's what she was arguing. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. She didn't say that they were involved. She said that they were there. And that was her defense of it. So that's the type of things that they're talking about here. Controversy also surrounds Autism Speaks media portrayals of autism. That's her job now. That's Eileen Lamb. As I understand it, I saw this the other day and I can't find it again, but it indicated that she got $250,000. That's $250,000 in bonuses last year from being on the payroll of Autism Speaks. From Autism Speaks, Autism Speaks paid for the diagnosis of her son, and he's autistic. Actually, both of her sons are autistic. What I think is interesting is that 4% that goes to autistic families and so forth. I bet you money. I bet you that's where, out of the $400,000, just about right in there, that they actually do put towards autistic people, autistic families, I bet you they took it out of that $400,000 to get him diagnosed. Because she's autistic, he's autistic. By rights, it's an autistic family. She's also a, a corporate level executive there. But she was bragging about that, how Autism Speaks paid for her son to get their diagnosis while she's getting $250,000 bonuses, according to what that I saw in that report. They're going to talk about autism every day. That's the film where the lady actually she worked for Autism Speaks at the time, and she was an autism mother, and her daughter was right there in the room, and she was saying that she was thinking about driving off the bridge with her daughter in there, but she didn't because she had a daughter that wasn't autistic. Yeah, that kind of stuff, and that kind of pissed people off. um, Says furthermore, the organization has been accused of siding with caregivers in extreme cases where harm has come to autistic individuals. I've heard that they have been sympathetic. I don't know the exact cases or circumstances or anything else on that. I'm sure I've got plenty of time here. I'm sure we will be finding out. Another instance, continuous message was short film fight. I am autism 2009. That's the one that was really just that set the tone for Autism Speaks right there. Anyway, it suggested that autism could destroy marriages. Yes, lead to. It didn't say it suggest. It said that autism would I destroy marriages and lead to financial. Yeah, it said it flat out. Assertions that challenge promoting stigma rather than understanding. Absolutely, absolutely. My son was autistic, and at 22, last October, he committed suicide. He never got the mental health that he needed, I think, because it was stigmatized. We tried to Say, "Oh, just go to go to the shrink, whatever." We didn't know he was autistic at the time, but we were pushing for mental health, and he never did want to go, and I think that was from stigma. The same stigma that these people at Autism Speaks have been promoting and are still promoting to this day on their website, and I have proven it, and I will prove it over and over again. I've got like 80 more hours of this live stream to go. Not all at once today, though. Uh, how long have I been going anyway? Okay. I've only been going 15 minutes. I'll be darned. I forgot to set my timer. All right, but luckily there's a timer in my OBS. Uh, Critiques of Autism Speaks include claims that the organization has attempted to overshadow the voices of autistic individuals. Correct, and it has. They want to be the voice for autism. And they present themselves as the voice for autism. And nowhere on their website do they even suggest that there's an autistic community on Facebook, Twitter, uh, TikTok, YouTube, all of the social media platforms. There's a community there on the internet. They won't tell you about actually autistic people. They won't tell you what actually autistic people tend to think about Autism Speaks, that their organizations, and they won't tell you about what most autistic people think about ABA. Those things are insider secrets. No, they're not even secrets. They're just not said. Um, because if people go to the actually autistic community, they will find out what a scam Autism Speaks is, as far as how little money that goes to actually autistic people and so forth, and how there are millions in bonuses go to like the top 10 people in bonuses, millions. Yeah, they don't want to talk about that. Um, Particularly, these individuals establish their own advocacy groups, such as Autistic Self Advocacy Network, the Autistic Women Non Binary Network. Advocates have noted that Autism Speaks marketing strategies, strate- strategies. There we go, strategies. Um, are heavily tailored towards the parent. Okay, the website right now is focused towards the parents. Now, why is that important? Well, that's where the money is. That's where you can get your either even if it's welfare, you can get Medicaid or whatever, and you can get Medicaid to pay for it. If the family's working and they have insurance, you can get their insurance to pay for it. And as a last ditch effort, you can a lot of times you get the family to pay for it out of their pockets. It's all about the money. Autistic people are a um, multi-billion dollar money making thing in the United States, and most of it is from quote healthcare. Most of that actually being ABA. And Autism Speaks is the number one known organization. So when there are good hearted people that want to help autistic people, and they want to donate towards, and help autistic people, they will donate to Autism Speaks, thinking that they represent autistic people, thinking that they are going to help autistic people. But like last year, they made $39 million, and about $400,000 of all that money actually went to autistic people. And Elaine Lamb said, who's one of the corporate executives, said that Autism Speaks paid for her son to get his diagnosis, which means it probably came out of that 4% that actually autistic people get. Part of that went back again to one of the executives, so she didn't have to pay for that diagnosis. Just saying. And I think it's great that he got diagnosed. There's nothing wrong with that, and I don't care how that gets paid for. It, um, but once again, it helped the executives of Autism Speaks. It didn't, and that person happened to be autistic. Uh, doesn't look good. In addition, Autism Speaks has been characterized as a wealthy and politically influential entity. They are, and they lobby, and like I said, they want to get into the pockets of the politicians. The reason is then they can have them custom legislate, basically. Throw in pork barrel, throw in pork or whatever, or one-liners, whatever, that so that way basically it empowers these organizations, gives them more room to make money, whatever. And a lot of these bills like could be like structured towards grants or something like that. Say they throw in this bill structured towards grants, and it just so happens like Autism Speaks is the only organization that can check all the boxes, that kind of thing. It's where you pick up those kinds of favors and things like that. And so it's very, very important. And like the CEO of Autism Speaks had a $400,000 expense account last year. Almost, well, it was over 400,000. It was almost $500,000. It wasn't 500,000, but it, 400 and some odd $1,000, close to $500,000 in expenses. What that means is whining and dining people, taking them to $100 plate dinners and giving them, $100 bottles of wine, that kind of thing. That's what that is about. And now this money, this $500,000 that goes to this whining and dining and so forth, and grooming, we'll use the word grooming here, politicians and so forth. These are the donations that people are giving to Autism Speaks, assuming that they go to autistic people. And we've got like 10 executives in Autism Speaks that are getting, I know it's over 2 million in bonuses. $2 million in bonuses. What are they? Okay, if they are getting $2 million in bonuses, they better be making 4 million for that company, or 6 million, or 10 to be getting that kind of bonuses. And actually, in real corporate life, they wouldn't even. It wouldn't matter. they, they don't give those kind of bonuses. Not normally. Not normal corporations and so forth. Not that. This is supposed to be an organization that is helping autistic people, and millions of dollars go to bonuses to their corporate executives. This is their. Is this their? Oh, okay. No, this is the. This, still going on in this article here. Um, It is alleged to have garnered bipartisan support by framing autism as an economic burden. Of course they have, and that's exactly what that like "I am autism" commercial was. It literally said that we were an economic burden. To appeal to Republicans, emphasizing need for research, which eugenics, because the reason Autism Speaks was created was to cure autism. That's what the rights wanted. That was why they made the organization, to cure autism. Which means that if you no longer have any autistic people, that you were singling out a certain type of person that you want to no longer exist in this on this planet. That's why it's eugenics. And like Bill Gates, he's autistic. He actually has come out, I guess, recently saying that he actually is autistic. Everybody knew he was. um, so we wouldn't even be having this conversation if it wasn't for his contributions. Um, when Windows touches everything nowadays, no matter what. Autism Speaks has routinely failed to condemn the alarmist news coverage of horrific stories committed by people with autism. And it sounds like there's a story going on right now like that. I don't know. That's going to be interesting. And early in 2014, St. Mary's County autistic uh, an autistic teenage boy was brutally attacked with a knife by two of his female classmates. Yeah, I remember hearing about this. Um, they didn't condemn that. Okay, um, William Shatner is thought by a lot of people to represent Autism Speaks. And there is nothing, there's no actual on the paper connection or even inferred connections. Um, William Shatner is known for very, very heavily promoting Autism Speaks. And like I said, a lot of people think that he's actually their spokesperson, and he's not. The problem is he is extremely not rude. He is ableist as can be. He is as basically is I'm my word finding's going here. He for instance, he called me an idiot after I identified myself as autistic and had made the statement that most autistic people don't agree that Autism Speaks is a great thing. And when I said that, he said that I was an idiot, and I thought he misunderstood what I said, so I basically restated it in a different way, and he doubled down. And I was like, oh, wow. And then I started looking it up, and if you Google it yourself, you can see that William Shatner is extremely abusive towards autistic people. The problem is since so many people think that he is a representative of Autism Speaks, like, wouldn't they? I don't know. They must get more publicity from him than negative stuff because they have never ever condemned any of the things he's said or done concerning autistic people. All the abuse he has thrown our way, and like I said, me personally, that was on Twitter about I don't know couple of years, 2 3 years ago. Oh no, I just saw Pastor Greg Locke. Oh, where is this coming from? This is a guy when I was back in the atheist community, and I've been keeping up with him a little bit, but oh my goodness, what this guy's a piece of work. I know about him. Let's see, controversy. Oh, that's right. Um, Greg Locke, I remember this. He basically said that autistic people were filled with the devil. I think is what it was. Yeah, yeah. They're being really nice here, espousing views that link autism and other conditions like OCD to spiritual affliction. He's saying they're full of the devil, that there are demons inside them. Um, yeah, he literally was saying that autism was demonic. Greg Locke for you, and that's why when I talk about the bite cult model and of authoritarian control, why I am so familiar with it and why I know that it does fit the bite model of authoritarian control, as does ABA. And this paper is taking it much further by saying Autism Speaks fits the bill as a hate group and fits the definition according to the Southern Poverty Law Center and the definition according to the FBI. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah. Okay. Personal experiences with these narratives, particularly within the context of evangelical Christianity, you're going to never know more hate than the love of a Christian. I was a fundamentalist Christian, and they package hate in love, and it flies. It's cleverly packaged, and it flies. And a lot of it is peer pressure and so forth. And also, they do teach you to stop thinking on your own. To you just don't question anything. God. So now we've got that to foster more inclusive. Okay. In the context of evangelical Christianity, have raised concern about the potential for lasting psychological impacts, including religious trauma, which I experienced, which exacerbates the challenges faced by individuals. That's absolutely the truth. I've never seen anybody talk about that. That's kind of interesting. Um, there is a lot tied with religion in autistic people. Many will be drawn towards religion because of the routine and so forth. I've never heard an autistic person though say that they were religious because God was real. It always has something to do with the routine or the music or community or something like that. Not one has ever said, well, it's because God's real, of course. Just tell you something right there. Okay, so to foster more inclusive, supportive environment for autistic individuals, some advocates suggest Western governments, including those of the United States, United Kingdom, should recognize autistic individuals as a distinct minority group. I haven't heard that. Okay, I guess. I don't know what that means, really. To be considered a minority, I guess it would. You could sue people easier, or maybe people might pay attention to your rights more. I don't know. The goal is to encourage support for and funding to shift towards organizations run by and for autistic people. Yes, such as the Autistic Self Advocacy Network. And as far as I know, they are the number one um, most, I guess, respected or most highly regarded, as far as I know, autism organization, at least by the autistic community. Um, the only person that I've heard that has said anything negative, evidently, has been William Shatner. uh, However, there is belief among some advocates that the current political and economical factors, including the composition of the United States Supreme Court and the influence of pharmaceutical industry, may pose significant challenges to those changes. Okay, well, yeah, they could, but that's not Autism Speaks stuff. Okay, so what else is in the news? We got Autism Speaks Walk in West Palm Beach. And once again, this is a great marketing ploy because it ties, again, um, this is to help autistic kids. Where does all the money to these walks go to? Did any of these autistic kids take that home? Nope. But Autism Speaks sure did. So we got another walk. I don't know who this is. Grassley meets with Lee Container Centerville team and Autism Speaks about workforce program partnership. Okay, this is November of 2023. Okay, no, I want something more. Come on, I want something more current. I can't get anything more current than this. Really? It won't give me a Hooyah thingy. Why won't it do this? What is going on here? This is so weird. Autism Speaks. More? I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, so we'll go back to news. Oh, tools. Here we go. Past week, we'll say. Okay, so here's Facebook. Somebody on Facebook basically promoting, saying, um, World Autism Month is almost here. Show your support with these great t shirts created by autistic artists. Go shop autismspeaks.org. So here they're getting money kickbacks on that one way or another, at least in promotion. This this is why it's so important for the autistic community to take a stand and do whatever we're going to do this April. Be it get on their website and stay there. And I mean, if people can't donate because the website's over just overwhelmed, too bad. If there's autistic people letting autistic Autism Speaks know how much we love them all April when people are trying to call to quote donate to Autism Speaks and their phone lines are tied up. Too bad. You know, we need to take action. And the reason is we need to do enough to get the attention of the media so people start asking why the autistic community is standing up and speaking out against Autism Speaks. That's what's important here. I don't know what this. Okay, we're gonna try this.
Hello, running community. Zachary Randall here for Autism Speaks, wishing everyone out there a happy Easter this year. And we hope very much to see some of you at the Downhill Dash 5K this April on the 27th. So thank you, and once more, happy Easter.
And once more, who's getting the money from that? Is it autistic people or autistic people getting diagnosis or people? No, it's going straight to Autism Speaks.
Hello, running community.
This is a great scam. Help autistic kids, and it goes straight to Autism Speaks. I love it. I mean, if you're going to do a scam, this is the way to do it. This is textbook, right here. How to do it. Okay, here's another one. A walk in San Antonio. So watch this. Okay, so this is Autism Speaks News. So watch this. Watch if I put autism. No, I don't want. What the hell? Did it just autocomplete for me? I hope it didn't. Okay. I think it did. Okay, so we got autism here. Now we're going to go to news and watch. Autism Speaks will still be in there. More than likely. Oh, we got to go to these tools and go back to... What was I last year? I'm going to go back to last week. How about, or week, yeah. Autism Pleasant. Okay, this is not Autism Speaks. Genome analysis, 160. Okay, I was wrong. Wow. A third one's Greta Thornburg. Oh, great. We're doing great. This is awesome. I'm so happy to see this. I thought it was going to be all Autism Speaks, because we're so close to April. So I thought for sure it was going to be hammered. I'm really glad to see that it's not. I didn't know that about Bill Gates. I didn't know his family was. That's weird. That would be awkward. Let's kill them. Oh, oops. Sorry, son. We didn't mean that, son. But we would have killed you. Okay, we're gonna go back to the Autism Speaks website so I don't get in trouble. So the first thing that pops up is give us money. And then we have a little pop up here that says give us money, and another pop up here of give us money. But we don't take the pledge. Take the pledge. I do not like that at all. And once again, if people take pledges like this, in a sense they're kind of like taking a pledge to the organization. No. Mm-mm. I won't even do that really towards my country. I took an oath to my country when I was in the military, but I'm not going to pledge undying loyalty to my country because my country may do stupid stuff. This is Eileen Lamb. And these are her two sons, one of which um, recently, I guess within this last year, Autism Speaks paid for, according to her, um, to get his diagnosis, which I think is great. Both these boys are autistic. Cool, they're diagnosed. And she's also autistic. The thing is she got a $250,000 bonus last year. $250,000 is what the financials were showing. I'm going to try to find those again. But evidently, $250,000. She must have already spent that so that they had to pay for the doctor's bills. And see, 4% of the money goes to actually autistic people, to autistic families. She is corporate at Autism Speaks, and she's an autistic family. So out of that 4% that they actually do give to autistic people, and went back to one of their corporate people. And now that $250,000 is not her salary. It's probably much more than that. That was just her bonus, and that also doesn't mention. I think it would probably be something like about a $50,000 uh, uh, spending account or whatever, expense account. It seems like most of them with on that tier, they were all anyone that did have them. I think the lowest was about 50,000, and then of course the CEO had that 400,000 some odd dollar expense account. Yeah, just absolutely insane. Exactly. Exactly. There are some organizations out there that have had like 80, 90% or whatever of everything that they put in goes to directly to kids or directly to burn victims or whatever. And there are some organizations that can do that. And that is extremely difficult to do, to have that high in numbers. But there are a lot of organizations that get that done. And 4%. The CEO, just his base pay, is like $650,000 or something, is what he got last year. And they gave $400,000 to actually autistic people. Just saying. And she, Eileen, was, I guess, reimbursed probably or whatever for her doctor bills by Autism Speaks. I just think yeah, William Shatner. I don't care for him. Okay, so this is Autism Speaks website. This is what's important to notice right off the bat. The first thing I noticed. Look at all this damn white space. I literally got out my glasses, my sunglasses, because it hurts to look at this site. Now, how long has autism? Are they going to tell us about us? We've been around since 1645. Let's see. No, they're our founders. Okay, so since 2005, I don't know how long they've had a website up. They probably should have in 2005. They should have then. But no one has ever noticed or told them that autistic people are sensitive to light. That a lot of autistic people are sensitive to bright lights. And so, like, every one of these is all white. Now, I went on Vistaprint years ago. This is well over a decade ago. All this white area, you can choose the color. You can make it brown if you want to. You can make it dark. Like, there's Google. There's a color that I chose for this. Um, Here's another one. That's YouTube. That's dark mode. That's so much easier on the eyes than this. And it's, I don't speak Spanish, but it's throughout. This shows you. So have they like never been like, oh, you're autistic? You want to take a look at our website, critique it, tell us what you think? I cannot believe that autistic people come to this site, hundred thousands, whatever, autistic people come to this site and obviously they know their eyes hurt, but Autism Speaks has never heard anything about it. How could that possibly be? The reason that is because they are not in touch with the actually autistic community. Now there are some people like Eileen there that are probably somewhat involved or whatever. Now she's in the corporate whatever, so it's in her interest to make money to support Autism Speaks. Because, like I said, just a bonus that it was saying from that report I saw, as I understand it, it was $250,000. I think it was almost, it was like $400,000 or something in bonuses for the CEO um, of Autism Speaks. I don't remember exactly on that one. I know he had a $400,000 expense account. So they get $38 million a year. And this is what their website looks like. It's a white page that hurts autistic people to look at. Isn't that just beautiful? Yeah. Jeans Day. What is that? Raise funds for Autism Speaks and have a dress down day at your office. Oh. Okay, here's all kinds of fun ways that you can raise funds for us. But yeah, this is actually a pretty deep site. I have not gotten through this. I've been going through this for 2 days now, and I have not gotten completely through the site. Of course, I have been BSing, fact checking, or whatever. Family autism building the puzzles support group call. Okay, supporting siblings. When people say that they support the families and so forth and ignore the autistic people, this is what we're talking about right here. Supporting siblings and caregivers of youth with behavioral challenges. They don't have an event to support autistic people, but they do have an event, a special event to support siblings and caregivers of them autistics. We don't want to do that with them autistics now. We don't want to help them. We want to support you because you have to deal with them autistics. That's kind of the message they're giving here. At least that's how I'm perceiving this. And they can't argue with how I'm perceiving it. I'll play their game back with them. My autism. Okay, this is blue. Is it blue? Yes, look at this. They got a great page here. Look at the color. That doesn't hurt so bad. Nice. Nice. Oh, I somebody else created this. This is somebody else's work. I think maybe not. Okay, well these cover pages aren't too bad. And Eileen here, the she she has made herself the autism and her kids the Autism Speaks poster child, and it doesn't say that they're autistic, but they are. I just think that's just ironically kind of funny. And she's just like, hey, yeah, okay, we'll do a good, family thing or whatever, and yeah. So she's the she and her kids are the face of autism for Autism Speaks. I don't know. That's cool. A good looking family. Nothing wrong with that. Um, okay, let's see what this pledge is. I am okay. I am hoping that this pledge says, I pledge to help autistic people and to be sensitive to autistic people as much as possible. I pledge to do my best to listen and pay attention to their needs and prioritize those over my own. Is that where we're gonna see people? And you guys are like, oh, right, Dave. We know that's not where we're gonna see. Where's the pledge? Come on. Today, misconceptions of autism are frequently. Oh, okay, here it is. Um, okay, today, misconceptions of autism and the frequency in which people are excluded threaten access to vital information, resources, support autistic people and their families' need. Now, what they're trying to do here is suggest that they are the sources here. And they do say that they have resources and vital information. And when you go dig deep in there, you end up on a search engine that's basically like Google. But they say that they help direct autistic people towards services because there's a search engine that's sucky. But they can say that they've helped autistic. See, if one autistic person, if she gets on there and uses that once, then they can say they've helped autistic people. This is how this kind of stuff works. Voted best burger in town. I used to always laugh about that. There was a small town that said voted best burger in town. So the cook's like, Ethel, is this the best burger in town? You're darn right, Jerry. That's the best burger. Well, we got two votes. That's the best burger in town. So this is this kind of same kind of concept here. Okay, let's see what they actually did say. I will be a true friend and advocate of. I will be an advocate of the autistic community. I do have one thing to say about that. And that's for you too. In this respect, Eileen, I am an autism self advocate. I advocate for myself. I cannot advocate for the community. I am not the community. I do not represent the community because I can't represent all of the community. I'm just an old geezer autistic guy with a bad attitude. But here they're having parents pledge to be an advocate of the full autistic community. That means to be an advocate for me. Let's read it. I'm going to take out true friend here. I will be a advocate of the full autistic community. Okay, that's the first thing. I will respect and support those with autism, with that disease. I promise I'm gonna respect and support those with that disease, autism, and I will champion acceptance, not just awareness, but acceptance of difference. Okay, whatever. Okay, and I guess this is good thoughts. But this thing, those with autism, with I, they could have said autistic people, autistics. But once again, they're trying to separate, and this is a huge complaint from the autism community, that they're trying to separate the disease from the autistic person. I am an autistic person because of the way my brain formed when I was inside my mother's womb. How my brain formed is what made me what I am. My brain will always be the way it was, the way it grew. So I will always be autistic. Every thought I have ever had, ever will have, will be autistic. And I've totally lost. Okay, I will respect, support those with autism. Yeah, okay, there you go. Um, no, I am autistic. I am an autistic person, whatever, because of how my brain operates. I didn't catch it, I didn't get it, and autism isn't something that I got. It is me. It is my identity. It is who I am. It is how my brain works. I can't be anything but autistic. I can't be anything but with autism. I was born with autism. So you would not find this on an autistic website, is what I'm saying, made by autistic people. I think this it would it would be a mistake, or I just don't see it happening. And champion not just awareness of differences. I don't even like that either. How about of sameness? We're human beings. You know what? If holistic people would realize that I am a human being and we left it there, right there on the table, I would be good with that. Without them knowing anything about my differences. If they would just accept me for who I am and what I am, we wouldn't need to talk about differences. Um, okay. Now this is the pledge for the parents, right? I will clarify misconceptions. I will speak for my child about autism. And now this is one thing that you do see with this whole part of the community. The Autism Speaks ABA community. There's the autism mom side, and then there's the actually autistic side. And there's two distinct communities. I don't care what anybody says. On the autism mom side, you will have this kind of things that I will clarify misconceptions about autism and guide others. Basically, I will correct you. I will correct people. Whereas in the autistic community, it's like the autistic kid will correct. I would not speak for my child. I never spoke for my children. My daughter was 4 years old, out breeding her own mare. Now it was a little Shetland or whatever, but nonetheless, she's like 4 or 5 years old out there breeding her own mare and everything. Um, my point is I didn't do everything for her. She did things for herself, and that's what's helped her through life. Um, but I never ever would have spoken for either one of my kids. I would always give them the chance to speak. Now, if they had a difficult time in communicating, then I would help with the communication. And when I had clarified, I would stop and let them communicate. That's how it worked. But no, we don't speak for other people in that respect. Not normally. Guide others to I will clarify misconceptions about autism and guide others to reputable resources. Autism Speaks. What reputable resources would that be? And they're saying Autism Speaks, or that's what they want them to do. It doesn't say to the autistic community to help them on their journey. You could put that there. That works really well. I will clarify misconceptions about autism and guide others to the autistic community to help them on their journey. That's kind of nice. I like what that says. I will challenge others to provide meaningful opportunities for autistic individuals and their families. What? Uh, we're gonna skip that one. We're gonna skip that one because I will probably go off on a tangent on that one. Um, I will celebrate all wins, big or small, of the autism community. This is a pledge. I will. I don't know what this hashtag act fearlessly and stand along the autism community. Now, when they say the autism community, they when I say the autism community, I'm talking about autistic people and supporters are of people that are very close to autistic people, supporters of actually autistic people. I'm not talking about autism moms and ABA providers. Now they do, then that is part of the autistic community, but that is a very distinct, separate part of the community. The community is two parts. It is actually autistic people for the most part, and our supporters, and the ABA Autism Speaks people. It's just how it is. And the ABA, what does ABA and Autism Speaks have in common? They make money. See how that works? When you have the people who make money on one side and then you have the actually autistic people on the other. Isn't that interesting? Hit the pledge button. This Donald Bard. I think he's autistic. I think. I think I saw him in an interview. All right. So let's see. Advocate. Let's. I'm just like clicking on random places here. Like I said, this is kind of a deep site. It's deep. I wish it wasn't all white. Eileen, if you're watching this live, hopefully Eileen or some of those people at Autism Speak will actually watch some of this. Um, you guys got to do something about this white page. That hurts. That is so not cool. And you're supposed to be representing autistic people and have an idea about the. You are giving advice about the needs of autistic people, and you have a white page, and your whole website is like that. Is that not crazy? Autism Speaks. I don't know. Are you still on there, Jafar? Family. See if they're still on there. Anyway, I'm gonna. In the meantime, I'm gonna take a look on this. Uh. Oh boy. Here we go. Let's see what they say. Now they have in some places, a lot of places, they've done really well as far as what I've seen in their wording on things. Um, I've only seen a little bit of ableism here and so forth, and mostly that ableism is, other than the fact that autistics are less than human beings. Um, Not that's pretty much the size of it. Autistic people are less than human beings. um, okay, they're talking about the Autism Cares Act. Now, this is what I'm talking about with the legislation and so forth. This act did almost nothing. Almost nothing. It didn't actually do anything, and I don't even think it's been funded. Um, what you got to understand is you can pass a bill. We're gonna cure cancer bill. The we're gonna cure cancer bill. So we pass the bill. Everybody wants to cure cancer, and then we don't fund it. Um, you know, but we've got the bill. There is a caucus, an autism caucus that doesn't exist. What it is a list of senators and so forth who have their name on this list so that it looks good in their bio on their webpage. Other than that, the caucus does not exist. I tried to get it. Believe me, I got deep into that one. In fact, so deep I backed out. uh, Autism Cares is the only federal legislation solely dedicated. Uh, no. Okay, important parts of this law are set to expire on good. The whole damn thing should because it didn't do anything. It did not do anything. Like I said, I don't even think any of this was funded. Maybe it was because they were talking about 22 billion for various things, but these there's no real nothing has actually happened here, from what I understand, in this CARES Act. This was a um, if I do Autism Cares Act, it says that Senator, I can't remember who proposed this thing. It looks good, just like the Autism Caucus. Do you want to join the Autism Caucus, Senator so and so? Sure, put me on the list. Make sure that goes in my bio, and that's the end of it right there. And that literally is the end of it with the Autism Caucus. So, developing personalized treatments where? Through services and research where? Training future healthcare professionals where? Supporting pediatric training programs where? On developing behavioral challenges, developmental behavioral challenges. See, this is where we get. So, Autism Speaks is pushing senators to do this, and see this word behavioral challenges? We are behavior issues. We don't have sensitivities. Our brains don't function differently. We're behavioral problems. And when it's Autism Speaks that represents us, this is the crap that we get. Translating research into clinical practice, that's eugenics. They're valuable resources are toolkits for families, sustaining numerous other other initiatives. Could they be any more specific? Other designed to meet the diverse needs of people with autism. Diverse initiatives. See, there's nothing there. There's nothing to this. Nothing to it. And if there was, it would be right here and we would have articles and everything else. I'm not even going to bother to look this up. And if there was something to it and they didn't do that, then that shows you how smart they are. But no, there's nothing there. Let's see, Fearless Kids Project? What's that? Do I have a website to recommend? What is it? Autism ASAN. What is it? What's ASAN? I keep on forgetting. Oh, yeah, Autism Self Advocacy Network, which is autisticadvocacy.org. Okay, I'm not getting a thing. It's not letting me put that on there. But it's ASN, Autistic Self Advocacy Network. This is basically started by an autistic person and run by autistic people. As far as I know, this is the most highly regarded autistic organization there is out here. This is kind of a political organization. I don't know that it's a true PAC or anything. Here, let's go to this about. We'll go. The Autistic Self Advocacy Network seeks to advance principles of the disability rights movements with regard to autism. ASN believes that the goal of autism advocacy should be, a world in which autistic people enjoy equal access, rights, opportunities. We work to empower autistic people across the world, take control of lives, future. Okay, so this is what now this is where it gets into their work. It says basically, so this is the types of things they're trying to do: policy, legal, advocacy, uh, making educational resources. Now, when you have a bunch of autistic people, only autistic people, I mean, maybe oh, we'll allow some autistic people, some helpers, but whatever. But basically, you know what I'm saying. We have autistic people running this thing, and they're basically overseeing writing this or whatever. Even if autistic people are involved helping, it doesn't matter. This is done by autistic people. Don't you think you're going to get a little bit better information from autistic people that had autistic parents, or like my mother was autistic, my kids were autistic? I've been autistic over half a century. I'm just beginning to understand it. Creating advocacy tools. I don't know what they mean there. Leadership training for autistic self advocates. Cool, cool, cool. But so that's what they say they do. Um, I have not worked with these folks. I don't know anything other really about them. I wish I did, but I haven't heard anything negative about them except for from William Shatner, which tells you a lot right there because it's William Shatner. Careers. Let's go work for Autism Speaks. I know a gal who she tried to work for Autism Speaks. She put in five um, applications. There's two others that are recommended usually. Um, I think on the ASN site they might like give a blurb somewhere in the end or something like other potential sites. I don't know. There's lots of organizations that try to take autistic people's basically do what Autism Speaks is doing. Um, and they aren't very helpful. That just take money. Then there's organizations like this that I understand that are spot on and rock stars. So it's just looking out there. Okay, I've been making fun of Autism Speaks. William Shatner, James T. Kirk from the Starship Enterprise. That William Shatner. Um, he is a very, very strong supporter of Autism Speaks, but he also is extremely abusive to autistic people. Now, the only reason I became aware of this is because I was on his Twitter. Somebody was saying how great Autism Speaks was, and I said I identified myself as an autistic person. I'm called the autistic page. And I said, well, not all autistic people, not most autistic people probably would not agree with you that Autism Speaks is all that. William Shatner, it was his Twitter. He had every right to. He came on and called me an idiot. So I was like, wow, he must have misunderstood something. So I like rephrased it or something and made really sure that I identified as autistic. And I can't remember exactly what he said, but he doubled down. He just continued to be a not nice person, so to speak. Um, so that was that. It's, I don't know how to look up old stuff in Twitter or whatever, but I know it's in there. It's from like years ago. I wouldn't even know if I'd bother wasting the time with it unless it was important. Okay, this may be what this dude looks like. I always laugh at Autism Speaks because I expect them like if we were to do a video, I was to do a video with Autism Speaks, I get that freeze face. It was so I looked autistic enough for them, right? Because they always like getting that goofy face or whatever. Now here, I don't think they did that, and I'm not saying this guy's goofy looking or anything, but I that's the first thing I thought when I saw this thumb. Now this is on their website that they're showing this. I'm going to go take it to the YouTube website. Now this is the Autism Speaks website. This is from 10 months ago.
Together we stand in relentless commitment.
Okay, that's Eileen right there. That was Eileen. She's a French girl. That's why she has the accent. I don't know what part of France, but I can tell you this: she is not from the western rural part of France because she does not sound like my sister at all. I don't know French real well, but because I learned kind of the French from my sister, I know their accent, like in my niece's accent and so forth, but it's not the same.
To bring the greater needs of autistic people to the forefront and take action. To access early diagnosis services for all autistic children.
So what's with the early diagnostic services? It's good to get autistic anybody any kind of help that they need. With autism, if someone in the autism community talks about services for early detection, what we're talking about is to with OT and speech therapy, things like this, for that type of help. When Autism Speaks talks about it, they're talking about ABA. Straight up, that's exactly what they're talking about.
No matter where they live or their financial means.
And they're talking about eugenics. Okay, this is interesting. That's her boy. That's one of her sons.
To give autistic teens a path forward.
Eileen's, that's one of Eileen's sons. Let's see. We'll go back there. I know that's one of her boys. That's sad. I'm sorry. I'm seeing enough pictures of these kids. Yeah, there he is. There he is. Hey.
Financial means. To give autistic teens a path forward, to learn, to work, to be fulfilled. To address the critical wait for adult services as the number of autistic adults who need support continues to grow.
They had that red-headed guy, I think, in one of their videos.
To ensure life-enhancing opportunities, no matter the age or levels of support needed. To create a future of collaboration, discovery, and innovation.
I would love to see, if they're going to keep it real, wouldn't it be funny if they did a scene of like a couple picking each other up at a bar? It could happen. Autistic people do that. I've done that. Right? Because they want to show the true face of the autistic community. I wonder if they're going to do that here, but I doubt it.
When we stand together, united as a team, our impact is limitless.
Okay, so this is a big Autism Speaks walk. Okay. They did pretty good on the thing. Now this is the funny thing. Okay, oh wow, this is all the way up in 1080. Most of everything that Eileen has been doing on her streaming has been like at 244p. Considering they bring in like $39 million a year, all she can afford is a setup in her office of 360p or 244p. Isn't that weird?
As individuals,
as parents,
as siblings,
as loved ones,
as friends,
as advocates.
A world where all people with autism, all people with that disease, autism, that's not part of them, they're people, they're human beings, but they got that autism. And they wonder why autistic people hate them. Now, I understand there are some people, some autistic people that would say something like that with autism, or I got autism. But I guarantee you, if we go to that ASN site, you're not going to see with autism. You're going to see autistic people or something like that. or you're just going to see autistics, which seems to be the most common that at least the people I hear, can reach their full potential. Because without us, you can't. I wish there was a world where autistic people could reach their potential if schooling was tailored so around, and this is whether they're realistic or autistic, but around people's strengths and so forth to help guide them in those directions. Oh man, the things we could do. Courage. I hate it when things try to be cutesy. Connectedness. They stand for connectedness, yet they've never been connected or part of the actually autistic community. I can take these off because I got a nice black screen now. And they actually have autistic people. Eileen here, who is autistic, she is not part of the actually autistic community. And you can tell by the language that she uses and the way she phrases things. The actually autistic community has its own lingo, and the autism mom has its own lingo. So it's kind of like saying basketball people have their lingo and golf people have their lingo, except it's the same sport. You just have two different factions.
United in heart.
Now, she's the one that got $250,000 is what the financials were showing in a bonus last year. $250,000. And Autism Speaks paid for one of her sons to get diagnosed with autism, which good. I'm glad he got diagnosed. But that probably came from that 4% that they actually donate to autistic families. And she's autistic, so that makes sense. However, because she's a corporate executive, them throwing her into that tilt, particularly when we know she's gotten a $250,000 bonus, not her regular paycheck, not the expense account. It wasn't a poor autistic family that was helped. It wasn't a autistic family that was on welfare or whatever, or welfare. We don't call it there. What do we call it now? Public assistance. Yeah, it's people, no label.
And in mission. That allows all of us to be part of the world the way it should be, the way it will be. Together we stand for
the way it should be, the way it will be. Our vision of what autism is. Not autistic people's. This is the thing. They're not saying the way autistic people think it should be. They're just saying the way it should be, the way I think it should be.
us to be part of the world the way it should be, the way it will be. Together we stand for a world of difference. Stand with us.
I'm getting real damn tired of hearing this different stuff. I'm a human damn being. There ain't no damn difference there. I'm a human being. I expect to be treated like a human being. Let's focus. I can see it like showing the puzzle pieces and stuff. If they were connected to the autistic community, they wouldn't have made a video that show all these puzzle pieces and stuff like they did there, because they know that would, oh, you'll never walk alone. Oh, so it was a walk thing. Maybe this was a family or something that did that. But well, I can at least say this is an improvement over I Am Autism. They even have that trademarked. That's weird. That's so creepy. Creepy. That is so creepy. Okay, yeah, so, okay, providers and information. Watch this. So, this is where I was saying earlier that Autism Speaks can say they provide resources to autistic people because they have a page here that says find the resources. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to take us, it doesn't matter which one we go to, but it's going to take us eventually to like a little search engines. Okay, so what happens is you put your name in here, and then they'll give you a little PDF on this one. I've only done this once on the parenting guide to autism. I've actually got that one downloaded. I know I do. I don't know how to pull it up. Um, and it was extremely ableist. Maybe I should bring up another one of those. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to look at all these, I think, and open them up. Basically, they want your email, so I gave them an old email that I don't use. Let's see what the ATN AirP Guide to Managing Constipation in Children. Okay, I'm trying to find the ones. This is kind of weird. These the guide I found was ableist as hell. This parents guide to autism. This is just so damn ableist. It was crazy. Okay, let's do a siblings guide. Here, I'm gonna drag this over here because it's just got my. I don't really care that much about that email, but okay. Now we're gonna get this bigger. Okay, now this is a PDF directly from the Autism Speaks website. Oh, we don't have the other one had a like a little bullet points or something about autism. Autism is something that affects the ways a person's brain works. No, it doesn't. It is how the brain works. It doesn't affect. It's not a disease that affects the brain. That is not correct. Autism is how the brain forms. It is a brain type. So already in the first sentence, we're already getting ableist here. Autism is something that affects, because it's a disease, it affects a person's brain. So what they could have said is autism is a brain type. Neurological brain type. Most people with autism, see, it's a disease with autism. They're not autistic people. They're not autistics. They are separate from their autism, and that's bullshit because we cannot be separated from our autism. See, they tricked me into it there. I am an autistic person because of how my brain is. That's why I'm autistic. It isn't something that happened to my brain. It's the way it grew, the way it formed. I have a autistic brain type. It's just like some people are pale like me, and some people are dark skinned. Some people have a neurotypical brain. Some people have autistic brains. Some people have whatever you want to call this color, and some people, this is blonde, by the way. So yeah. Anyway, so we're gonna brave through it here. Most people with autism have a hard time communicating with others. Once again, that's false, and that's scientifically proven to be false. Scientists have found that autistic people can communicate well with other autistic people. Neurotypical people can communicate well with neurotypical people. It's when you put a neurotypical person and an autistic person together that the problems start, because we communicate differently. But in general, We do not have any communication problems. In fact, we speak bluntly and we speak the truth. We do not speak in euphemisms. It's the illistic people that have problems communicating because they don't say what they mean, because that's part of how they communicate. And some might have unusual behavior. See, they're characterizing an autistic person as unusual here. And they're throwing down that word behaviors again. A lot of people say that I've always said that I've known that I'm different, that I act differently. But I didn't have unusual behaviors. I wasn't a freak. Wow. I am a freak, but that's a whole different thing. That's an adult discussion. Because their brain is wired differently from yours. This is assuming that they're talking to an holistic person. People with autism also have unique strengths and differences. Autistic people, just like everyone else, have unique strengths and differences. Why can't you do that and be inclusive? See how the people with autism also have many unique strengths and differences. That's separating. Autistics, like everyone else, have many unique strengths and differences. See the difference there? And how that's characterized when I said it compared to how they phrased it. I wasn't a disease, and I didn't separate myself from neurotypical people. Just like neurotypical people, we have strengths, we have differences, we have faults. That's true. And in many instances, they can be more profound. So I'm not trying to minimize our disabilities or our strengths or anything else. But we're people, we're human beings, and that's the context that if you're talking to the person that they're trying to address here, that's the context that this type of person that they're trying to address needs to know. We're human beings that are different in some ways, but we're human beings first. We're just human beings and different, just like other people are different. Everybody's different, and for us, sometimes it's a little bit more obvious. Even though there are many people, this is the Autism Speaks PDF. That's why we're going over this. We're showing the ableism within Autism Speaks from Autism Speaks. I'm doing 100 hours of discussion on why you should not support Autism Speaks. And I don't even know what hour I'm on now. Let's see. I had like 16, 17. I think I've got more than that. 17 hours now? 18 hours? Almost 20 hours? I've almost got 20% of her done. Even though there are many people with autism, and even though there are many autistics, now I'm going to rephrase this. Even though there are many autistics, see? Each autistic has very different talent. Oh, they say this. Each person with autism has very different challenges, special abilities, not necessarily. We don't all have special abilities. We don't have special personalities necessarily. We're people. People? Do you not get this? We're not all savants. Some people with autism may require a lot of help. Okay, now they're talking about support needs, which in a very basic, while others may not need very much support needs at all. This is written very weird. And maybe this is supposed to be written for kids or something. There are some who might not be able to talk at all, others who like to talk a lot. Okay, yes, if I read this in children's voice, even though there are very many people with autism, each person with autism has very different challenges, special abilities, and personalities. Some people with autism may require a lot of help. Mm-hmm. See him? He's wanting some help there. While others may not need very much help at all. Look, he's doing okay. He doesn't need any help. There are some who might not be able to talk at all, and others who might talk a lot. Oh, I am so sorry. I don't know who's watching. I am so sorry I put you through that. Okay, so this is the Siblings Guide to Autism PDF from Autism Speaks website that has been downloaded now to my machine, and we are looking at their PDF. What does autism look like? I'm surprised nobody's criticized me for calling it autism. That's kind of redneck coming out when I say that because I'm originally from Houston, and we always had hard R's for stuff and put R's like wash in your car where R's didn't belong. And I was doing this way. Oh, I'm basically 80 hours in, or no, 20 hours in, and I'm not going to be doing this like straight. I'm basically doing it like 4 hours a day or whatever, and I'm going to be doing it through April. But Autism Speaks asked me personally, the CEO, what the autistic community needed. I told them go ask the autistic community. I did this on TikTok. I did not respond to him personally. I wasn't going to because I wasn't going to let them twist or take or anything I said. So I made a public response and said, ask the autistic community. They did not do that. And so I decided that um, I would do 100 hours of reviewing videos and so forth where people talk about Autism Speaks, autistic people and so forth, not me necessarily, and discuss what they've said, discuss what websites say, and so forth. And I would, for 100 hours, give reasons why autistic people are upset with Autism Speaks, essentially. So I am going way overboard to be dramatic. Moving right along. Often people with autism have difficulties in three areas. Okay. So we're talking about probably going to go into the three diagnostic criteria, which would be sensitivities, repetitive behavior, social. So un- okay, they're calling it unusual. Repetitive behaviors, they are calling unusual. See how they're characterizing repetitive behaviors as unusual. Social difficulties, okay, learning to play with others. Actually, I kind of like the way that's okay. Kudos. Autism Speaks. I like the way that's put. Learning how to play with others. That really does soften it a bit. But yeah, talking, expressing their thoughts. Now, one thing with this that I find in ABA, and this is kind of making that um, same mistake here, talking or expressing. So they either are not talking or they um, can't express themselves. A lot of time we don't know what's wrong. My sister-in-law just passed a few weeks ago, I guess. Yeah, 2, 3 weeks ago. I lose track of time. She lived here in the house. So I live in the house that she grew up in, basically, right now. She was autistic, and she has interception issues, or what do you call dyspraxia type things. Um, she didn't know that she needed to go to the restroom. She got backed up. Her bowel died. She passed at 56. Um, so, and the reason she passed, the reason she didn't know she needed to poo is because she didn't know she needed to poo. And so she didn't. And she didn't know to talk to the family, or she didn't think of it. I think people have always been on her, tell us what's going on, but she didn't, it's just, she was autistic, just like I am, and a lot of time we don't want to be trouble, whatever. But for the most part, she did not know what was going on. and she until she felt extreme pain. Once she felt that extreme pain, and she had been experiencing this extreme pain for almost a week, and finally she decided to go to the hospital. It was too late. They took her immediately to surgery, pulled a gallon of poo out of her gut, and she was alive for a couple of days, and that was it. So the big mistake here being made by Autism Speaks, by ABA and so forth, is being limited to thinking that we just can't talk or express. We may not know what our issues. Yesterday, I stopped my stream quite suddenly and went to bed. I had no idea why, and I was constipated, is what it was. But I knew I was sick. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what it was. So I just quit streaming, and then I went to bed. And after a few hours, I finally figured out what was going on. Um, but this talking or expressing thoughts, this is the basic criteria here. The three things. The unusual behaviors, I do not like that. That is what we call repetitive behaviors usually. And here they're saying